According to the internet, there are 300 million people in the world that have asthma, and I'm one of them. Hey guys, it's Shipwreck Samantha, and this week I'm going to be giving you tips on how to cope with exercise asthma. Some people say that if you have asthma, you shouldn't be doing anything that involves long-term exertion, such as running. Well, guess what? I have run 4 half marathons with my aerobic asthma. I play ultimate frisbee almost every week, and I don't use medication or an inhaler. Now, I'm not a doctor, and these are only tips, so please take every precaution if you do have asthma. But these are my tips on how to deal with asthma if you have it. My first tip is avoid things that trigger your asthma. Sure, you can't avoid everything. Some people are allergic to animal hair, or pollen, or dust, or mold. For me, I have all of those. When it comes to spring, sadly I have to spend a lot of my time indoors. Or if I'm outside, I just can't do a lot of physical exertion because the pollen makes it difficult for me to breathe sometimes. When it comes to dust, you just have to do your best to keep your house clean. And with the animal hair, sadly you just can't be around some animals. For me, it's long-haired cats. I can't be around them. My next tip is know your limits. What are you doing? Because I've run 4 half marathons, that also means I have done a lot of training and a lot of running. Over these past 2 years of running and doing races, I have learned a lot about what my limits are. It's very important to know how far you can push yourself before you know you might have an asthma attack. Me, if I'm running and I feel like I'm about to have an asthma attack, you have to know when to stop and when to control your breathing and slow down before anything ever happens. This next tip is practice keeping control through exercise. I know exercise can be one of the reasons that you have asthma. That is my biggest reason. My biggest reason for having an asthma attack is a combination of exercise and stress. If I am playing ultimate frisbee and I'm trying to stop somebody from catching the frisbee and I'm chasing after them, not only am I running at my full potential, but I'm also starting to stress on whether I can actually stop that person from getting a point. The combination of these two things usually causes me to have an asthma attack. So this goes back to knowing your limits. So even though exercise can be a reason you have asthma attacks, slowly build up your endurance by going on walks, then jogs, then runs. And the more you do it, the more immune you will be to asthma attacks, as well as knowing when you need to stop if you're about to have an asthma attack. Next tip is practice controlling your breathing through your exercise. So once you start running, I'm sure you'll come to a point where you feel like you might have an asthma attack soon. For me, an asthma attack means my throat tightens up and it makes it difficult to breathe. I could be wheezing or coughing and Rose just fell off my shoulder. Really? You gonna do that now? So working in a controlled environment where you can stop easily is the best way to control your breathing habits. The best way for me to do this was when I was training for my half marathons. When I was running and I felt like my throat was about to close up, I knew I could stop and slowly control my breathing by breathing in and out slowly. Don't start hyperventilating or you can panic and make it worse. One of the worst things you can do is panic. If you do this, your throat might close up even more and make it even more difficult to breathe. Then you can start hyperventilating and feeling dizzy. This has happened to me before, and it even happened during a race. So you have to be really careful. Also, just because I don't have an inhaler doesn't mean you don't need one. Asthma can be very serious, so please be careful. I hope these tips were helpful to you, and I hope you can use them to help control your breathing and help to keep an asthma attack from ever even happening in the first place. I've never had an inhaler myself, and that is mostly because I have practiced controlling my breathing through exercise, because I do have exercise asthma. Also, if you aren't already but you like to be sure to join my pirate crew by hitting the subscribe button right down there. Also, there's a bunch of videos. I'm getting confused on which side it is, but over here or over there, there's some videos that you can go see of my other cool stuff if you want to, but you should, so do that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.